Alright, hello, this is Brian Hegney. This should be the last video. Why did I say that again? I don't know why I damn myself to being ridiculed when this won't be the last video, but I think it will be, because really all we need to do is finish the nameplates and then export them and import them to your blog, or upload them to your blog. So let's go ahead and do that. Number one, I'm going to go back to my InDesign. I'm going to make a few more. I'm going to pause the video while I make a few more because I truly agonize over this. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is Alt drag this so that I don't have to remake my nameplates. And all I need are 3. And by the way, do you know how many nameplates, different nameplates, I can make from this set of 9 squares? I'll give you a moment to think about it. I don't remember the real answer, to be honest, but let me do this on a calculator. Because I'm only asking you to do 3. Guess how many you could make? Well, if you can make the background a color, and your name a color, and your headline a color, and there's 9 options, mathematically speaking, that's 9 times 8 times 7 equals 504. There's 504 different nameplates. You cannot reuse the same color, or else you won't be able to see the name, obviously, or the text. That's what I just showed you in the beginning of when I first had this. But there are definitely 504 options, and I'm only asking you to do 3. So I'm going to pause the video while I painstakingly agonize over what my next 2 should be. Okay, and I can't wait for you to see! Alright, so here are my nameplates. Oh, you know what? I didn't... That's fine. And I kind of like this. I kind of like all of them. They all actually do well with contrasting. I'm not thrilled with this bottom one about its contrast. So, and if I click on this text, what you'll see, I'm going to double click and select this text, you can see that's the darkest hue of Feeling Brassy. And the rectangle itself, now that I have this fill, or the container selected with the fill, is the lightest Feeling Brassy. So, this makes me think my darkest Feeling Brassy just needs to be darkened up a little bit. So I might add a little bit of black there. But I don't like how that makes this nameplate look. I think that's too dark. So and actually, yeah, it's almost too dark. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Is there any way to change this to that one? Yeah, I could do that. This is where we have to agonize over our choices. I'm going to hit Commands, Control-Z, 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 Control-Z. Okay. I'm going to keep it the way it was, and I might just think, you know what? I might find a different, maybe a different hue for this Brian Hiking, maybe floorboards. Will that do a similar one? Wow, this is really tough, guys. This is really tough. I really want that gold. In this case, I might decide to make a different gold, or different brass color. Maybe I'd have a 4th one to really help myself. The next thing I want to do is just show you really quickly. I'm just going to make 6 here, and I'm going to show you my fast way of doing this, just in case you didn't figure it out. Like, I can select this whole thing, click on the container, click on fill, and change that up, and it's going to change that. I'm going to just click the text, and notice the T has a lot of question marks on it because the 2 texts here are actually different fill colors, so it doesn't quite know what to do or what to show you. It's just saying, hey, there's not one color for the text. Well, I'm going to choose a color for the text. I'm going to choose Water Maroon 75, and I'm going to select my text here and choose Water Maroon 56. And why am I doing this? Because I'm showing you something fun that I think maybe you'll want to play with, that I like to show. And that's just what happens if let's set that to this. What happens if you use all the same colors of the same hues for your nameplate? It's really cool. So for instance, for this one, it uses all Feelin' Brassy. I don't really like the fact that I think the name is legible, but my headline is not, so I might go to my Feelin' Brassy 75% and lighten that up a bit. Not so much, but just like a hint, right? And the same thing with this one. I think maybe my Whatamaroon 75% is not light enough, and then maybe I'll check the lightest Whatamaroon and make that even lighter. And I'm going to select floorboards, the same thing. I think my floorboards mid is not visible enough, and my lightest one could be slightly lighter. I just think that's kind of cool. I don't see too many students who choose the same hue to create a nameplate with. I think it's definitely fun. I could do this all day, and if someone paid me to make all 500 and some nameplates, I would do it. It would be so much fun. Alright, now that we're done, let's go ahead and export this out. This is something we haven't done in InDesign yet, but something you're going to want to do. By the way, you don't need 6. All you need is 3. I just wanted to show you, like, I wouldn't be able to decide on just 3. If you want to show me 6, man. That'd be so cool. I do want to show you what happens if you have all of these with strokes and how ugly it is. So I'm going to Alt make a copy, drag it over here. And I'm going to select this and the whole thing and give a stroke of black. Look how ugly that is. Do you agree with me? Like, can you all just agree with me that this to the right is just so ugly to look at? And this image over here to the left is just so pleasing to see how those colors actually interact with each other. So when I have students show me their 3x3 grid of their color scheme and it has no strokes on them, so wonderful! I love it! It looks so pretty. When you show me this, I think it just looks so ugly with these black lines, stopping my eye from really understanding how these colors really meld with each other. So just make sure you don't add strokes. Select all of your squares, turn your stroke to none. If you do that, you might actually have to realign all of your squares, but that's why you do it from the very beginning the way I did it. Turn off your stroke from the very beginning. Okay, but let's say I want to export these. One way to do it is you could export this as one image, right? So I'm going to select every single square. I'm going to click on File, Export. Not save, export. And what I want to do is, if for a photo story, if we're sending to a printer, we export as a PDF. But I want to upload this to a web page, my blogger. So I'm going to set it to JPEG or PNG, either one. Actually, I think PNG, ooh, no TGA. I'm going to do a PNG because it's slightly nicer, I think. No, you know what? JPEG, whatever. Let's just stick with JPEG. I'm going to travel to the folder where I'm making my project. 2020 Spring 11/13. Oh, TR, and let's go into magazine. And I'm going to make a folder called, like, blog post. How about blog post images? And I'm going to set this to color scheme grid. Enter. I want to select the selection. I made this selection specifically so that I could export the selected content. Quality, high. Maximum quality, sorry. Resolution, 72 is fine because this is going to go onto a blog page. And RGB, you might be thinking, Hegney, we're using CMYK. Well, that's for your printer who's going to print it out in ink. If you're updating to a web page, it's RGB because it's going to be viewed on a computer. We don't need to really worry about anti-alias, so that's fine, and go to export that. Now, what we just exported was an image. Let's see, where are you? TR, magazine, blog post images. There we have this beautiful image now. That's a JPEG, so it's going to open in my JPEG viewer. Yeah. And we can do the same thing for our nameplates. I'm not going to do one at a time. I'm just going to do them all at once. And again, make the selection, hit File, Export, and now do nameplates. Enter, make sure it's the selection, maximum, export. And I can look at that just to make sure that it actually exported it, like that. There we go. And from there, you all know how to upload images to your blog. If you're going to make a new post, you will likely call this color schemes or swatchy schemey, however you want to call it. And you're going to import, remember we have, I might go to my, cool, where did I have my brass band? I'm going to save this image because I'm going to upload it myself. I'm going to save this into the magazine blog post images and just say orchestra. And so in my blog post, I'm going to upload, I'm going to write a blog post the way you all normally know how to write a blog post. And I'm going to click this button here, which is the always insert image button. I'm going to upload. You could find ones from a URL if you wanted to. Like I could have gone to this URL of this, right-click this image and say copy image address. And if I pasted that in, it would find it. Here's the thing though, what if they took that down from their site? The moment this website goes offline, that image disappears. So that's why I usually like to upload my own photos, and that way I know it won't disappear. 1113, TR, magazine, blog post images, and kind of write a little bit about that once it uploads. Right? I'll say inspiration, and then you can do the rest. And that's how you would work with your blog post. I'm not gonna save this because I'm not doing this blog post. And that is how, if we actually go and look at Brammer's, that's what she did. She took a photo of her inspiration, she exported her thing here, and then also her nameplates. Alright, so again, why are we doing this? I am having you do this so you learn how to use swatches. Because the moment your editor comes here, and this is the cool part, the moment your editor says, those are totally not the colors that I want to use in my spread. Remember this spread right here? If I tell the person who wrote this, no, not blue, we're not using blue, we're going to be using green, and we're going to be using purple, and that color you have here needs to be updated to reflect a little more reddish tint in the bricks and the running dirt. I don't know what you call that. And also, right? So I need a little bit of rusty color. Well, if you didn't use swatches, you would have to go through every single block and change the color. And every single block you'd have to do that. But because we use swatches, I could say, you know what? Okay, fine. If you want Feelin' Brassy to be less, or if you want the floorboards to be a really dark color, not even orange, like maybe you want them to be blue, let's go ahead and do that, baby. Dark blue. And there you got it. And everything I did that was associated with that swatch throughout this entire document, in our case it's a 4-page document, but if it's the entire magazine, that's like, you know, 40 or 50 pages, it wouldn't be 50 pages, everything gets updated, baby. That's the power of swatches, and that's why I need you to learn it, so that you don't waste your time changing things. It will only take you a second to change every single colored component. Okay, that's it. Have fun. Blow me away with your swatches. Bye.